Morning, McGraw.
Lots of talk over the last couple of days about Russian spies and how they turn Americans, unsuspecting Americans, and how they duped Don Trump Jr. What are your thoughts as you watch all this?
Well, that some version of all of the above is true. I mean, I think the average American maybe underestimates how deep the Russians maybe have hooked us in certain areas as far as infiltration, as far as gathering information. I mean, it's what they do around the world. And, the thought or the idea that, they got involved in our election, I think there's no question about that. But, who either wittingly or unwittingly helped them do that remains to be seen.
What's the benefit of Russia to get some sort of half-joker music guy to reach out to Donald Trump's son to try and get some obscure sanction lifted? What's the benefit of Russia to do that?
Because the whole key, McGraw, is to get people in place that you've either compromised some way or are willing to help you. And so the idea of more people involved in maybe turning or twisting U.S. policy to their benefit because, the Russians have given you something, they've provided you something, they've helped somebody get elected, whatever it might be, can end up being a big deal. I mean, the world is global now, so policies, treaties, you name it, that the U.S. Is involved in has some effect on Russia. And so they want to be able to control that. They also want information. I mean, the more people they have inside whatever organization, agency, government, etc., the more they know, and the more they'll figure out a way to counter the information they received.
John Brennan told somebody, I was watching some interview, and he said, Russians will turn you even though you weren't planning on being turned. In other words, they'll reach out to you and you never plan on turning into a Russian spy, and they hook you to the point where you get so far in, you don't even know you're that far in, then they have you.
Well, yes. I think that's an accurate statement. They've done it to a number of people, and some have actually been prosecuted here for supplying the Russians. And then it becomes, under your scenario, then it becomes money at some point, and then they start giving you money, and it goes on from there. The whole key is to compromise people, and then you can control them, and then you sort of direct them or order them to pull whatever it is you want or take whatever action you want.
But in this meeting, assuming Don Trump Jr. is accurate and telling the truth that this meeting was nothing, it was a waste of time, this lawyer didn't have any information, they didn't get anything from the Russians, so what's the big deal?
Well, it may, at the end of the day, McGraw, that particular scenario may not end up being a big deal. I think it really depends on what is behind the surface of that gathering. In other words, were there other meetings? Was there information supplied, and he's not being, as you just said, maybe not being forthcoming about what was said? And I just don't know, but the idea that you would even have a meeting to receive information, about an opposing client from a foreign adversary, just on the surface, is really a bad idea.
Yeah, but Russia, they're not communists anymore. They're not the evil empire. I'm already getting some money to fund some of my buildings. They're not bad guys. I've had business dealings with them. So why can't I have a meeting with them?
Well, you can, but you have to still. You can, McGraw, as a private citizen, and you're not trying to get somebody elected to become president. But it becomes a real issue where you are in a position or are going to be in a position of power and control. And that's what they're, in reference to this investigation, I think that's what Mueller's looking for.
Yeah, so they don't want to meet with me. They want to meet with Don Trump Jr.
Of course.
Yeah.
They may want to meet with you, McGraw, for just money reasons.
Yeah. Brad Garrett, ABC News, crime and terrorism analyst, also a former FBI man. Brad Garrett, thanks for checking in.
Take care, McGraw.
726, Big 550.